Hi Gemini, welcome to August. This is Teresa from Tarot by T, and before I start your reading, I want to call in some good energy. So this month we have a new moon in Leo, which is favorable to your sign, on August 8th, and we have a full moon in Aquarius on the 22nd. And also this month, Uranus goes retrograde in Taurus on the 20th. And Venus moves into Libra, Mercury moves into Virgo. But we'll talk about the astrology later. Let's see what the cards say for Gemini about love and relationship. What does Gemini need to know about love and relationships? What is coming up for August 2021 for Gemini? What is coming up August 2021 in love and relationships for Gemini? What does Gemini need to know? The Hermit, the Nine of Pentacles, the Magician, the Eight of Swords, the Four of Cups, the Page of Swords, the Three of Swords, the Five of Swords, the King of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. And the card underneath the deck is the Two of Wands. So this month, it seems like you're doing a lot of thinking. You need time out. I feel like you're healing this month. You have the Hermit card at the beginning. That's the present energy. And the Hermit is a card of taking time out to think, to evaluate what's right for you. I think it's, you may have some love options, but I feel like you just came out of a difficult situation. Because you have the Three of Swords here, the Eight of Swords, and the Five of Swords in your environment. So I feel like in the past you felt trapped or stuck, maybe in a toxic relationship or a relationship where there was a lot of hostility or something that you couldn't fix. If there was because you have the Three of Swords, this is like a cutting away of a heartbreak card. So I feel like you're still healing from that experience. And even though you are free of it, I feel like you're freed of this relationship. It's made you very cautious. And so with the Hermit, you're like, okay, what's next? What do I really need in a relationship? You're thinking about it. What's right for me? I just came out of this thing. Maybe you were lied to. You have the Magician here surrounded by swords. You could have been dealing with someone who was very manipulative or good with words, maybe twisting the truth or... So I feel like you've been through the mill in the past. And you are now like the Eight of Swords. This is passing. This is a passing influence. You may have felt, you weren't valued or appreciated. You were bored. Maybe the relationship got stale for some of you. And now you're kind of sitting and contemplating, okay, I don't want to just jump into another thing. I really want to make sure that the next relationship I get into is what's good for me, I'm going to pay more attention to the red flags. You've got the Page of Swords here. This is about looking carefully, looking deeply. Sometimes it could even mean, so you're checking people out, but before you make a move. You really want to know the person. Like, what am I getting into? What do I really need to know about this person before I get involved? The Page of Swords is also, communication. So you could have been dealing with a challenging person in the past. And you may still have communication with this person because I'm seeing the Five of Swords in your environment. And that's usually like experiencing someone's hostility. And you may even have to have some difficult conversations. Maybe things... maybe over, but you're not completely disconnected. You still have some issues to work through. So there could be some negotiations or some kind of conversations that have to happen that are not easy. Because I feel like there's like a lot of tension and energy, especially around communication. Nine of Pentacles, there's the Nine of Pentacles is crossing this energy. So even though you're alone and you're feeling kind of like, I want to just be alone, I want to get away from it all, I really want to have a time out to think, you've kind of retreated into, like, you're doing okay financially, because the Nine of Pentacles is like someone who's enjoying their possessions or enjoying their environment, but feeling kind of lonely. I feel like you're feeling like, well, okay, I still have my house that I can live in, you know, and I still have some income coming in, and there's a lot of things that are still good in my life, but now I wish I had someone to share it with. That's the energy of this Nine of Pentacles. Sometimes it can mean like you decide you're working independently, where you have a lot of freedom, there's money coming in, maybe you have some kind of income where you don't have to work at a regular job with regular hours. You could be an independent contractor, you could have started your own business, or you're working where you just have more freedom over your schedule. But it may feel lonely at times, so you need to reach out to people. Don't get caught up don't like go into the cave and forget to socialize. Now, coming up in the future, you have this Four of Cups energy. And that's about, love is being offered to you. I feel like you have more than one option, because you also have the Seven of Cups here as an outcome. One of these options could be, you have this King of Pentacles, it could be an earth sign, so Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, or someone who's very down to earth, someone who is maybe not as exciting as some of your other relationships have been, but someone who's more stable and more, you can count on this person. Because the King of Pentacles energy is someone who, they're financially secure, they may own land or property, or they have their own home, they might have their own income. They're kind of like a meat and potatoes kind of person. Like they just love their home and their family. They work hard for their money. Money and possessions makes them feel secure. So that could be someone that you may have your eye on, because you have the Page of Swords here. Maybe you're checking them out. But you also have the Two of Wands. This is about a potential partnership. So I feel like there's potentiality this month, but you're not really jumping at it, because you're still in the healing mode. You're still kind of reeling from the past relationship or feeling the effects. And so with the Two of Wands, you're kind of like contemplating. Like, well, let me see where this goes. I'm not rushing into anything. Especially with this earth energy here in your wish fulfillment sector. It's about taking your time. And the Seven of Cups is about, multiple choices, being stuck in the choices. Like, I don't know what I want. I don't really know what's right for me. That's why you're taking this time out. And you have the Four of Cups here where there's a cup coming out of the cloud. Someone's offering you, like something is being offered to you. Could be love, could be some type of friendship, relationship. But you're hesitating. You're not, I don't know, maybe it's not exactly what you're looking for. So I'm feeling like you have multiple options. And maybe you're not ready to jump into the new relationship just yet, because you're still finishing up the old energy. And you still have loose ends to tie up. And there's still a lot of communication. One thing you have to realize, though, and I think you are at this point, with the Five of Swords, you have to accept people for who they are. You can't change anyone. So if a relationship ended because there were too many toxic elements or too many things that you just couldn't live with, you may have decided, well, I need to cut my losses and move on, because I just can't live like this. I can't live with these. There are certain things that are, deal breakers. And you may have come across a few deal breakers in a relationship and decided, to cut your losses and move on. And I feel like you're still feeling, here's the heartache card. You're still feeling the pain of loss, of cutting things away that were not working. So I feel like this could be, you might be feeling a little lonely this month, for those of you who have ended a relationship. So you might be feeling kind of lonely and just contemplating what your choices. You're kind of thinking about your choices, thinking about your options, and that's a good thing. You don't have to rush into anything. But there is someone that has potential. Just take your time. Don't rush into anything. And if you need to talk to someone, because the Hermit card, it sometimes represents, reaching out to others. There are people around you. You don't have to do it all alone. So if you're going through a difficult time, Don't be afraid to reach out. The other thing, this Two of Wands, is there could also be a business proposition, a business partnership that could come up this month with someone who has the funds and someone who's maybe wanting to start something. And so there could be not only, you have a lot of options this month, not only in love, but also in business. There could be an opportunity where you have to decide, do I want this? Is this right for me? So that's where you're at. You're at this contemplative kind of thinking stage and healing stage this month. Let's see what the astrology has to say. So for you, you have a new moon in Leo on the 8th, and it's in your 3rd house. And that's the house of communication. So this new moon it's also conjunct Mercury. And it's squaring Uranus in the 12th. So here we are. There's going to be an opportunity to socialize. People might be there, because the 3rd house is a house of communication. There could be a new beginning where you're getting out more and you're connecting with people. People might be calling you, wanting to go out, do this, do that. And it could be unexpected, but you have Uranus is in the 12th house. So there are some psychological wounds that you may have to deal with. Like when Uranus is in the 12th house, it's like you're closing out a cycle. So something may have ended suddenly, or you have a sudden realization about what you need. Maybe your security was threatened in some way. And so that's the challenge. When there's a square aspect in astrology, it's like there's a tension. So there's the tension between, what am I doing that's holding me back? This 12th house is like hidden enemies or psychological blocks. And that's kind of interfering with this new beginning. So don't let the past hold you back. Don't let past baggage hold you back from starting something new. That could be very good for you, because this new moon in Leo is, it's about, creative self-expression. Like, who am I? What is my message that I need to share? What are my gifts that I need to share with the world? And for you, it might be through some type of writing or communication project, marketing. Maybe you want to write, or maybe you want to do something, start a website, start a podcast, I don't know. Because Gemini is the communicator. This is you, the magician, the communicator, telling the storyteller. So what story do you want to tell this month? And how can you make it fun? You also have, it's trine in Chiron, the wounded healer in your 11th house. So there are some wounds around friendships, around groups that you belong to, that you need to heal. Chiron's in Aries. Maybe you need new friends. Maybe you need to join a new group that allows you to be more authentic, that allows you to be you without fear, without the fear of being weird. Because Uranus is like the uniqueness, the authenticity, but it's in your 12th house, so it's hidden. It's like you're hiding your gifts because you're afraid that what people are going to think. So maybe this new moon will give you an opportunity to express yourself without the fear of criticism, if you could break free of that fear. Venus is opposing Neptune. So you have Venus in the 4th house opposing Neptune in the 10th. So there's definitely some confusion about your life direction. But while you're spending time at home, you might even be working from home, you may want to decorate your home. Because when Venus goes through the 4th, you usually feel like making your house, painting, getting rid of old things, maybe redecorating. It's like you're preparing for a new life or a new home base. You want it to be like your sanctuary. Mars has been in the 4th house, so there's been a lot of activity in the home. It's going to be moving into Virgo, or it moved into Virgo. So wherever Mars is, your energy, that's where your energy is. So, Mars is telling you to take action, make your home your castle. And Venus is leaving, it's going to be leaving your 4th house when it moves into Libra. But for now, you have this energy to fix your home up, to do especially if you're spending a lot of time at home, if you're working at home, you want to make that home your sanctuary, that you can come home to, after the stress of the day, and that's where you find your peace. Venus is also trining Pluto in the 8th house. So there could be some power struggles around money and possessions and home matters, love. When Venus trines Pluto, it's a positive thing, but the feelings are very intense. So if you're connecting with someone in a love relationship, it's very intense. And there could be a relationship that really breaks down your walls, your fears of intimacy, because Pluto in the 8th house Pluto is at home in the 8th house, first of all. It's been in your 8th house for quite a while, many years, because Pluto stays in a sign, like 12 or 14 years, and it's coming to the end of, it's at the end stages of the 8th house, but it's still going to be there till maybe 2025. So it entered in 2008. So Pluto wants to transform your darkness. The 8th house is, the house of darkness. Your demons, confront your demons, release, transform, rebirth. It wants you to emerge as a new person who's not afraid of intimacy or bonding with someone at the soul level. And with Venus trining Pluto, you could have an opportunity to meet a soulmate. And the feelings will be very intense. You just have to watch out for the power struggles and manipulation. Saturn is in your 9th house, and it's trining the North Node in the 1st. So it's time, with Saturn in the 9th house, you may feel like traveling or learning. Maybe you want to go back to school, take more classes. But you really, with the North Node in the 1st, in Gemini, it's about speaking up about your needs. Speaking up and showing the world who you are and what you can do. Then we have the full moon on the 22nd. And that's happening in your 9th house. So you have the moon in the 9th and the sun in the 3rd. And this full moon is conjunct Jupiter. So if you're thinking about teaching or learning, so you could be the teacher sharing your knowledge, or you could be the student going back to school to learn, to get more skills, this is a very auspicious time for you. Jupiter is really at home in the 9th house. And Jupiter brings opportunity and abundance. And the sun is at 29 degrees Leo in the 3rd house. It's on Regulus, the star. It's the royal star of the lion. So it brings recognition. So if you've ever thought about writing or communicating or doing anything, any kind of creative self-expression, now is the time to do it. If you thought about writing a book or writing poetry or getting involved in some kind of communications project, now is the time. It could be very auspicious for you. At this point, this is the second full moon in Aquarius, so it's the blue moon. We had one last month at the early degrees of Aquarius. Now this is at the very end of Aquarius. And Neptune's still in your 10th. Venus is trine Saturn. Now Venus at this point has moved into Libra, where she is at home. She loves Libra because she rules Libra. And she's in your 5th house. So that you could have a love connection. You could meet someone once you release the past and heal the wounds of the past. You have an opportunity for romance, because the 5th house is the house of romance. The 5th house is the house of children, creative self-expression. So some of you can meet a partner, a romantic partner, someone you could get involved in a creative project that really brings you a lot of joy. You could have better relationships with your children if you have children. And Venus is trining Saturn in the 9th. So whatever, you got to get out of your comfort zone this month. Try something new. Learn something new. You might even be meeting up with someone who has a different cultural background. Someone who teaches you new concepts in spirituality. There's so much potential. And Venus is part of a grand trine. It's a grand air trine with Venus, Saturn, and the North Node. So it's the air signs are about, thoughts and ideas and sharing, communication. So if you meet someone during this month, you're going to have mental affinity. You're going to really be really communicating and sharing ideas. And Venus trine Saturn builds something, it's solid and something that could lead to commitment. So if you're open to love, you could meet someone that you could really have a long-term relationship, something that's really going to be solid and stable. Uranus is going to go retrograde just before this full moon. when Uranus goes retrograde, it can shake up some things in your 12th house. So some things might be revealed to you around this time. It gives you a chance to redo something, rethink something, revisit maybe some psychological aspects, but it could also reveal if you have anything that, if anyone's been working against you, some surprise. Uranus, is the planet of surprise. So we can't really predict what's going to happen. We just know whatever comes out will be a surprise. And especially around a full moon. Full moons usually shine a light on things. Things are revealed around the full moon. And so you're going to see some truths come out, some surprises come out. Maybe you might get a message, an unexpected message, or you might suddenly have some kind of awareness that you were not seeing before. Like, oh, this is how I've been, blocking myself. This is how I've been working against myself. So it could be a good thing. When you finally see what the problem is, then you can heal it. Then you can solve it. So I feel like it could be a time where you want to reach out to new groups of people, new friendships. You don't have to get rid of everyone, but you can branch out and get out of your comfort zone, meet new people. I think it'll be a positive thing. And through the groups that you belong to and reaching out and getting out of your comfort zone and maybe even traveling, you could find love there unexpectedly. So don't stay in the hermit mode too long this month. Maybe toward the end of the month, like at the beginning, you want to have a plan or a strategy. At least know what you want. You don't have to commit to anything, but you could at least know what you're looking for. And then toward the end of the month, you could have an opportunity to manifest it. So do your thinking in the beginning of the month, and then reach out and make your choice toward the end of the month. I think you'll see things coming to completion and things being revealed. So it could have a positive outcome as long as you realize that if you can't fix something, cut your losses and move on, because you have other opportunities waiting for you in the wings. So that's my forecast, Gemini. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, click on the like button, click on the subscribe button. Leave a comment if this reading resonated with you. I'd love to read all the comments. And thank you for your support. If you'd like a private reading, click on the link in the description box. It'll take you to my website, and we can do a reading. I have different options at varying price points and time frames, where we could focus just on your specific situation and see what the cards have to say for you. So until next month, I hope you enjoy August, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.